Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. Ryan, Mr. Smith Kitchen, as always. And this afternoon, I thought we'd make a pie. Now, if you caught yesterday's video, which I hope you did, and I hope you try that hash, that hamburger and potato skillet that we did yesterday for dinner. That was so delicious, and everybody here liked it. So it got at least 6 approval ratings, and that's saying something in my house, really. Some people feel I cook a little too fancy, even though I don't think I do at all. But anyhow, that being said, I mentioned we were going to do a German chocolate pie. Now, we've done a German chocolate cake before, and if you didn't know, neither of them come from Germany. There was a man named Germans who created the chocolate that goes into it. It's got a specific amount of sugar to cocoa ratio that makes it a little sweeter than a semi-sweet, but not as sweet as a milk chocolate. It's just right in there, and it's a really good chocolate. And a lady used it in a cake. I don't remember where now. The history of it, of the German chocolate cake, is back that way. But this pie was inspired by that. And it's got a chocolate crust made out of chocolate wafers or chocolate cookies. And then it's got a nice chocolate filling, and then it's got the traditional coconut topping that goes on the cake. So, that being said, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. If you're a new subscriber, that's awesome, and thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You can find us on social media, on Facebook. I also have an Instagram that I think is underneath my name. Well, both of them, you can find both on Facebook, but we do have a group, Mr. Smith's Kitchen. Things like that. You can comment there, share recipes, have a good time. Anyhow, let's get started making this cake. Now that we get the formalities out of the way, and this pie, and have a good time. I will give you all your measurements in cups, tablespoons, teaspoons, as long as grams and milliliters, so that way everybody can play along. We don't all use cups, tablespoons, teaspoons. So, that being said, let's get down to the counter and get this party started. Alright, hold on 1 second. Okay, so, down here at the counter, this pie is going to be easy. We're not using a stand mixer, we're just using a handful of bowls and a whisk or two. So the first thing we want to do is make our crust. I am still here. I just forgot to get something. So I'm going to turn around and grab it. Alright, sorry about that. So the first thing we need to do is make our crust. Now I've got a 9-inch pie pan. I'm using glass again. You can use ceramic, you can use whatever, you use what pie pan suits you best or what you have. We have both, and the 9-inch glass works just as well for me as the ceramic ones do. There are some people that swear by one or the other. Glass is good if you're new to baking pies, so you can kind of see what your crust is doing on the underside too. And ceramic bakes a little different, but not too much. Bakes a little more even than glass, I believe. So first thing we gotta do, I've got 9 ounces of chocolate cookies, and that's essentially what they are. You want to look for a chocolate wafer or just a chocolate cookie. Hold on, I'll show you. So I remember what I did with them. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. But a chocolate cookie, just like this one. The original recipe called for chocolate wafers, which this is as close as I can get to a chocolate wafer without using the ones with cream. And I don't know how well those would hold up, because you're looking for more of a cookie base. I don't know how well the wafers would hold up as a pie crust. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll try it down the road and see what happens. But anyhow, I just put them in my, I have a 9-ounce package, which is 256 grams, because I couldn't find a 9-ounce package either. They're 7-ounce. And I put them in a blender, in the food processor, and got them pretty much to fine lumps. Now, there's some bigger chunks in there. It's okay. As long as you don't have whole cookies, quarter cookies, half cookies, and it's smaller than a dime, basically, you'll be fine. To this, I've got 2 tablespoons, 30 grams of sugar right here, along with a 1/4 teaspoon, 1 gram of salt. And I'm gonna put that in with my cookies. And we're gonna mix that in real quick. Okay, got that mixed in real quick. So to that, I've got 6 tablespoons, 84 grams of melted butter. It's about a 1/2 cup of melted butter. I'm gonna pour that in there, just like such. And then we will, and if I didn't mention it, my oven is preheated to 350 degrees. That way we had to bake our pie crust. So you want to get that preheating before you start all your other shenanigans. Alright, so we'll get this mixed up. Okay, we've about got this mixed up pretty solid. And according to the recipe with this, you don't want to, like the Oreos where we put a 1/2 cup of butter into it. These you just want to get, so they touched the butter, not so much let it soak in. That's according to the recipe. So we'll see how that goes. But all we gotta do is, and yes, my counter's clean before anybody asks, is get our 9-inch pie pan out. We're gonna throw this in here like such, and then we're gonna give it a firm pressing down. Okay, so we got our pie crust together right there, and it is a little loose. I would almost add another tablespoon of butter into it, maybe. I think is what I would do, but then that's okay. If it doesn't turn out to my liking, I will. If it does, great. We'll take it from there. If you're new to my channel, a lot of our recipes we do for the first time together. The whole point of that is to show you that baking can be very easy, and along with cooking. And if I can do it the first go around and make it taste really good, I know you can, because you guys are way better at this than I am. So anyhow, I got that done. My oven's at 350. I'm gonna throw it in the oven for about 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it. It should start to poof up a little bit, darken in color, but you don't want it to burn. You'll smell it. Once you can smell it, it's pretty much done. It's about 10 to 12 minutes, which is about your average cookie crust cook time. So I'll get this in here, and when I come back, we'll start making the filling while this cools. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, so we're back, and we got our pie crust done, as you can see right there. It is fresh out of the oven. Give me 1 second, and let me readjust the camera. Bring it in a little bit. And be careful. Hold on, Ab. And right there is our pie crust. And it darkened a little bit, it poofed a little bit, and I think we're in pretty good shape for that. So while that's cooling, because that's got to get down to close to room temperature. Hold on for me 1 second. Let me get the camera moved. We're going to go ahead and make our filling, so that way we can get it in there and get it in the oven. Now, I did not turn the oven off. And first thing we need to do is, I've got 2 ounces, a half a bar of German's chocolate, and I've got 6 tablespoons, 84 grams of butter, and it's pretty close to room temperature. I'm gonna try something that I'm kind of against, but I want to see if it works. And I'm gonna do this in the microwave. I chopped up my chocolate really fine so that it'll melt at a pretty decent pace, and I cut up my butter so it'll do the same. I'm going to put it in the microwave, and it said do it in 30-second intervals until both the chocolate and the butter are melted. So we'll, but no more than a minute. So we're gonna try that. When I come back, we'll take a look at it. Hold on for me 1 second. Okay, we got her melted in the microwave, and it didn't turn out too shabby. It is smooth, it's not clumpy, but it's not too hot either. That's a good thing. We'll let that sit for a second over here. We'll put that down on the cooling rack next to the pie crust. So the next thing we need to do is I've got to put some of our ingredients together for this filling. Now that we got that part done, I guess technically we just did. So I've got 150 grams, 3/4 cup of all-purpose sugar right here in this bowl. And I got a medium-sized bowl. I can switch to a large if I need to, but I don't think I'll need to. And with this, we're going to put in 1/3 cup, 35 grams of cocoa. And I'm using Dutch processed. You just want to use an unsweetened. I really like the Dutch processed. I've had a thing for it now for a minute. And then we're going to add what was together? Sugar, cocoa, flour. I got 1/4 cup, 30 grams of flour. We'll put in there. I did not grab a whisk. And then I've got, is it a 1/2 teaspoon of, no, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Get that in there, and that's 1 gram. And I believe that's it in this one. So, yep. Whisk. Hold on. I sat it down outside the microwave. Alright, so we'll whisk this together. Real quick, there we are. We'll set that aside. So now we're going to do some wet ingredients, and it's really only a few things. I think 3 if I'm not mistaken. As soon as I can find the 3rd one here in the cabinet. There she is. Oh. Alright, sorry about that. I had a senior moment. So in this smaller bowl, I've got 3 large eggs, and they are at room temperature. And I'm just going to give them a quick breakup. Yeah, you always want your dairy at room temperature, unless it says otherwise in the instructions. And we are going to break those up. We're going to add 1/3 cup of milk, 75 milliliter. And we'll put that in there. And it's at room temperature too. I had pretty close to it at any rate. I didn't get it out quite quick enough. But it's close enough. And the reason being is we're about to put that chocolate in there. And we don't want to take the chance of any of that curdling. And then the last ingredient is the vanilla. And it is 2 teaspoons, 8 grams of vanilla. Got that in there, give that a good stir. And then we're gonna add our chocolate to this. So we'll grab our chocolate like such. This side, and we'll whisk as we pour it in, because it is runny enough to pour it in. Okay, so we got that mixed up. Right there we are. And it looks so good, I can actually smell it. It smells amazing. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it into our dry ingredients, just like such, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, and then combine with sugar. Mix till well. Alright, so we just got to mix this up. Pour that in and mix it up until well combined. It's almost like making brownies. Only a little wetter, so, which is a good thing. Alright, we got that very well combined and smooth. You can see that up in there. But a little bit of air bubbles in it, but that's alright. That's alright. So, now that we got that done, all we have left to do is put this in the cooled down pie crust, which is, oh, it's cool. I'll take it. Just like such. Alright, so, got our filling poured into our pie crust. That looks disgustingly good right now. So now we just got to put this in the oven. So let me get it in the oven real quick. Just like such. There is that. And, yep. So now what do we do? Well, now we are going to take a minute to set our timer. 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna start at 25 because I've never done this recipe before. I don't want to go to 30, although most everything we bake, at least for me, is on the higher end of things because I don't have a convection oven. When we get one, that'll change times. It'll take less time. And I know with our old convection oven, it took about 5 to 8 minutes off of everything we baked. But that being said, I'm going to start at 25 minutes. We'll let it go till 30 if necessary. It didn't really say how to tell it was done other than it would be set. So that means that there should be no jiggle in the top at all because it is liquidy. So if 25 minutes, I jiggle it, it doesn't jiggle, comes out. If not, we let it go a little longer. So anyhow, when I come back, I'll have it out of the oven and cooling, and we'll make the topping. All right, I'll see you here in just a second. Okay, so cake is cooled, or pie is cooled. Hold on for me 1 second. I'll show it to you. Here is our pie, just like you saw when it came out of the oven. And the crust was a little too crunchy on the top, and it just broke off as I came around. It wasn't crunchy, it was dry. I should have put more butter in it. I should have known better when I felt it. That's all right. We're going by the recipe. I'll explain why that is here shortly. But, I mean, pretty much, it feels like a brownie. So, we'll see how that is. But it's cool at any rate. So all we got to do is make that topping. And the topping is relatively straightforward. I've got 3 egg yolks right here. And we're going to put those in this sauce pot. Now, you want, like always, a kind of heavy bottom sauce pot for even heating. But in this case, you want kind of a medium-sized sauce pot, not necessarily a large or a saucepan. And we got 3 egg yolks. Those egg yolks are room temperature, although I don't think it really matters in this case because we're heating them. To that, I'm adding 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Get that in there. And then to that, as soon as I get that last little bit out of there, like such. There we go. We're going to add 6 tablespoons of butter, and I got them cut up into tablespoons. That way they kind of melt more efficiently, and they have been sitting out for about 20 minutes or so, so they're a little on the, not room temperature side, but warm side at any rate. And what we're going to do is we're going to continually stir this with our whisk until the butter's melted, it starts to bubble and thicken. And then we can, okay, so we're starting to bubble. I know you can't see it, but maybe you can hear it. I can't really hear it. I can barely hear it. But it's starting to bubble, starting to go bloop, 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 bloop. And we've gotten thickened. So what we want to do next, and that's why you constantly stir, so that way it thickens evenly and you don't get any burnt things on the bottom. But that being said, go ahead and turn our heat off. We're going to move it off to the side here. I'm going to switch out tools. We are going to go with a spatula now, because we're going to dump in 1.5 cups of coconut, shredded coconut, which I did not catch the grams on. I'll put it down in the description with the ingredients list, but I'm gonna guess that's probably right around 140 grams, which makes me, I guess, a bad human. I'm gonna put a pinch of salt in, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and it's kosher salt. I have a 3/4 cup of toasted pecans. That's at 65 grams. I'm gonna put those in there, and then I've got 1.5 teaspoons, 6 grams of vanilla. Put that in there like such, and then we're gonna give it a good stir. I haven't cut into it yet, so I don't know. But we'll get that stirred. Right, we got it all stirred together. That's what our end product looks like. And we are going to take it. Now we have to let this cool down to put it on top of the pie, and then before we do anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a different pan to get it out of this hot pan to help it cool a little quicker. Right? Just small mixing bowl. If I wasn't So I don't want to say lazy, but if I was a little more inclined, I'd have ran downstairs and got a sheet pan. Because you can also use a sheet pan to spread this out on a small sheet pan, and it'll help it cool even quicker. Yeah, the thinner and whiter the surface is, the quicker it'll cool. But that being said, I'm going to let this cool for maybe about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll put it on top of our pie. Alright, so we let this cool down to room temperature. We are good right there. See how it got nice and thick on us? That's what we wanted. So now all we got to do is put this on the top of the pie. Excuse me. I think everybody here at the house is at the beginning of stages of either summer colds or maybe a little bit of allergies, but on the way odds, possibly summer colds. Abby's laid out for the day. She had a little class. One of her teachers has been coming over through the week to work with her for a couple hours, and today she just was having a rough go at it. She did good, but she's having a rough go at it. But anyhow, we're gonna spread this around like such. Get it somewhat even. Yeah, unlike a meringue or something, I wouldn't think you'd want it necessarily piled up high in the center, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There is that. Now, all we have left to do, now that we got that going on, just like such, yes, looking beautiful, is put this bad boy in the fridge and let it chill. So we're gonna put it in the fridge. It says minimum 2 hours to as long as overnight. So mine's probably gonna go in there for about 2.5 to 3 hours. I've been outside working in the garden diligently, and we got so much popping off all at once. Chris just picked a bunch of cucumbers last night, and we got sweet peppers, the sweet peppers that look like banana peppers coming out. We've got Hungarian hot peppers popping, so I still got to go out there and get those. Finish working in the potato area. Put more potatoes in the ground. That way I can get a second batch in before it gets cold. And even though it sounds like it's forever for now, but potatoes take a while to go. You can go up to like 4, 5, 4.5 months before you pull them out of the ground to maximize them. You have to wait till the foliage on them pretty much dies completely off and then pull them. So I wanted to get those in the ground now so I can get them out of the ground before the end of October, when we'll have our true cold snaps and all that stuff. But anyhow, let's get that in the fridge, and when I come back, we'll cut a piece and try it. All right, I'll see you here in a second. Oh, I'll be told probably 6-7 hours, almost overnight, hours-wise. So now all we got left to do is cut it. You know, I went out and did some work outside today, and a little bit of work in the garden. Got some things where you wouldn't believe all the Hungarian hot peppers and sweet banana peppers we have in the house. Cucumbers for days, which the cucumbers are a good thing because we'll be pickling those before too much longer. We didn't do any cucumbers last year. We didn't make any pickles last year, but here's our pie. In case you forgot what it looked like over the last 20 seconds. I mean, I haven't seen it in a minute, but that's all right because day is done. Dinner has been served, and now it's time for a little piece of pie. We'll see how this cookie crust works compared to the Oreo crust we made on the last one. This will be 2 cookie pie crusts in a row. Alright, so I made that piece just a little too way big, but that's alright. That's alright. Now, the rough part, let's see if we can get it out of here. There we go. Yeah. See, this is, alright, so let's talk about this for a second. Because it didn't come out horrible, but part of it's dry. And see that loose crust in there? There's a reason for that. And shame on me and shame on Kroger's. And shame on me again. First, when I bought the cookies, I bought them this morning, but they said they were best of use by May 28th, which means Kroger didn't catch it. I didn't think about looking at an expiration date because it was Kroger, and so they aren't a bad cookie. I had a couple, but they're dry, so I should have put more butter in it. So if you ever get, when you're doing your crusts, why I do it by hand. If it still isn't packing, you can't pick it up, squeeze it, and it holds. The reason for that is because it's still dry. And that's what happened to me, but only on the crust. Yeah, see right there how it fell apart? But that's alright because the rest of the cake looks absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's going to focus in on it real well, but all the same. Oops, sorry. Alright, so anyhow, lesson learned with dry cookies. Right? And always check your best if used by dates. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's the reason why most best used by dates you can use for like a month afterwards, depending on what it is, of course. But I know that with their cookies, if I'm using them for a crust, add a little more butter to them. That's all. But anyhow, let's give this layer of cookie, a cakey brownie type center, and coconut a try. Ow. That's good, but that's rich. Very much German chocolate, like that topping is spot on. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have taken 2 bites, but I can't help it. Give this a try. If you like German chocolate cake, this German chocolate pie is right up your alley. I like it. You don't need a big piece though. Holy cow, it's rich. I cut way too big a piece. That's why I'll eat the whole thing now. Let me know if you do give this a try. Leave me a comment down below, or jump on the Facebook group, Mr. Smith's Kitchen, and leave us a comment there. If you make one, post a picture. That would be awesome. Hands down. So next week, I have no idea what we're gonna make for dinner or for dessert, but I'm sure it'll be something incredibly good. At least I hope it'll be incredibly good, but who knows? I don't even know what we're making. It might be peanut butter and jelly. That in and of itself can be an art. Yeah. Dessert, definitely don't know. So, but yeah. Let me know if you try the cowboy spaghetti, or if you give this or not cowboy spaghetti, the beef and potato skillet from yesterday. Cowboy spaghetti was last week. And or this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I love you. I love you very much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them and you love them very much. It's going to make their day a whole lot better, I guarantee it. And they may need to hear it, especially nowadays. It's going to make you feel pretty good to tell them that too. And if you make one of these pies and add a little extra butter to that crust, you're going to have a good conversation and probably even a closer friend. All right? I'll see you next week. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.